Hello. So we're going to cover subtraction with renaming, and we're on lesson 7.8, page 309. So how can we rename a mixed number to help us subtract? That's basically the question. So Ramon, Chandler, and Chase go bike riding on weekends. On one weekend, Chase rode his bike for 3 hours. Chandler rode her bike for 2 1/4 hours, and Ramon rode his bike for 1 3/4 hours. How much longer did Chandler ride her bike than Ramon? So I don't need everybody's numbers, right? I need Chandler and Ramon. All right. So Chandler was 2 1/4 and Ramon was 1 3/4. How much longer? So that's a subtraction problem. And we've already circled the problems we need, the fractions. We've already circled the mixed numbers we'll need to solve this problem. And so we can model 2 1/4, take away 1 3/4. So let's shade in Chandler. He went 2 1/4, and Ramon went 1 3/4. So how much further or how much longer did Chandler ride than Ramon? Well, it's this little piece right here, right? So each of these is worth 1/4. So 1, 2, 2/4, or 1/2. So Chandler rode 2/4 hour longer or half an hour longer. Number one, if you have 1/4 size part, 1/4 size part, can you take away 3/4 parts? No. All right, so no. So 1/4 take away 3. Well, other than creating negative numbers, we can't take 3 from 1. And we haven't discussed negative numbers and integers, so that's not what we're dealing with here. So if I have 1/4, what's the most I can take away? 1/4. So there's no way to take away 3/4 size parts. All right, what happens if we have 1 whole and a 1/4 size part? Can you take away 3/4 size parts? So this is a little differently, right? Different, right? 1 whole equals 4/4. So you actually have 5/4, which means you can take away 3/4. So yes, 1 whole equals 4/4. So you have 5/4 in this case. 4/4 plus 1/4. So you have 5/4, which means you can take away 3/4. All right, rename the first mixed number. So this is another way we can do this. So rather than doing the number line and comparing fraction strips, we could also just rename the first mixed number. So here we're going to rename 5 1/8 as a mixed number with a fraction greater than 1. As a mixed number with a fraction greater than 1. So 5 1/8. 4 plus 1 is 5, right? So what I want to do is I want to take one of those wholes and turn it into a fraction. So if I take one whole and make it 8/8 instead, now I'm left with 4 wholes and 9/8. So in a sense, I regrouped or renamed the 5 wholes as 4 wholes and 8/8. I then added the 8/8 to the 1/8 I already had, which now gave me a fraction greater than 1. So now I can take that and I can subtract the 3. Okay, I couldn't subtract 3/8 from 1/8. So we renamed 5 1/8 as 4 9/8. Now 9 take away 3 is 6/8. 9/8 take away 3/8 is 6/8. 4 take away 3 is 1. So we have 1 and 6/8. I see that those are both even. So I should be able to simplify by dividing by 2. 6 divided by 2 is 3. 8 divided by 2 is 4. So 1 and 6/8 or 1 and 3/4. Next, we can rename both mixed numbers. And this is fine to do. And actually, some of you might find that you like doing this better than the renaming of only the first mixed number. But when the numbers get larger, it will take a little longer. So I caution you as to just don't necessarily rely on this method. Get good at doing all of them. All right, so how can we rename 3 and 4/12? And how can we rename 1 and 6/12? Well, first, why do we even need to rename them? Because right now it's saying 4/12 take away 6/12. Well, I can't take 6 from 4. So I have to make the 4/12 bigger in some way. Okay, so I can rename it, rename both mixed numbers as fractions greater than 1. So if I have 12/12 is 1, right? So how many 12/12 do I have in 3 wholes? I have 12/12 plus 12/12 plus 12/12. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. That's renaming the 3 wholes plus the leftover 4/12. Okay, so what did I do? What am I doing? I changed, there's 12/12 3 times in the number 3, in the whole number 3. Well, that's 12, 24, 36 plus 4 is 40. 40/12. Now, somebody might come along and say, well, all you have to do is do the denominator times the whole number and add the numerator. Well, that's true. That's what we just did. Okay. So I don't want you just doing things without understanding why you're doing them. Why does 12 times 3 work? Well, because every whole number has 12 1/12 pieces. So 12, 24, 36. 3 times 12, 36. Plus the extra 4/12 gives me 40/12. Okay. Now in this one, if I was doing that, it would be 12 times 1. So what is 1 in this case? 12/12. 12 times 1 is 12. plus 6/12. Well, 12/12 plus 6/12 is 18/12. All right, so now we can rewrite our problem as 40/12. Take away 18/12. What is 40? Take away 18. Well, I can't take 8 from nothing, so I need to regroup one of the 10s as 10 ones, and 10 take away 8 is 2 ones, and 3 take away 1 10 is 2 10s. So we have 22/12. I see that they're both even numbers, so I can divide that by 2. 22 divided by 2 is 11. 11 plus 11 is 22. And 12 divided by 2 is 6. So, or 11/6. How many, and would you agree that 11/6 is the same as saying 6/6 plus 5/6? It is, okay? So all I did was I saw that the numerator was bigger than the denominator. So it means I have a value greater than 1. So I put 6/6 equal to 1, and then how many more were left over? How many sixths were left over? 5 of them. So we have 1 and 5/6. Explain how you could rename 5 to subtract 3 and 1/4. Well, we could use fourth size parts as a denominator. So we can rename 5 as 4 plus 1, which is equal to 4 plus 4/4. Therefore, 4 and 4/4 take away 3 and 1/4. So what did we do? All we did was rename the 5 as 4, and I'm going to change one of the whole numbers into a fraction. We're going to use the fourths because this one is in fourths. All right, so 4 and 4/4 take away 3 1/4. That would be 3/4 for my fraction part. 4 take away 1 is 3. 4 take away 3 wholes is 1 whole. So 1 and 3/4. 311. Number 1. Rename both mixed numbers as fractions and find the difference. So I can say 6 times 3 is 18, plus 3 more is 21. But let's show why that is. So I have 3 wholes. That's 6/6, and I have 3 sets of those. Okay? Every time I have 6/6, that's equal to 1 whole. 1, 2, 3 wholes. Plus the 3 6 left over. So 6, 12, 18, 21. 6 times 3, 18. 18 plus 3, 21. Take away 1 and 4/6. So this time the 1 I'm going to rename as 6/6 plus 4/6. So 6 times 1 is 6, plus 4 is 10. Is that true? Yes, 6 plus 4 is 10/6. So 21/6 take away 10/6. 21 take away 10 is 11/6. Okay? And so it doesn't say to rename it as a mixed number. But typically we will do that. Typically we don't leave this in the form of a fraction greater than 1. So I'm going to rename this 6/6 plus 5/6, which equals 1 and 5/6. 11/6 or 1 and 5/6. Find the difference. Well, I can't take 2 from 1. So you got two choices. We can turn them both into fractions that are greater than 1, but that won't work here because I only have 2/3. I don't have a mixed number. So here, why don't we just rename the mixed number we have to rename the mixed number in the first number. So what is the 1 in 1 and 1/3? It's 3/3. So I renamed the 1 as 3/3 plus the leftover 1/3. So we have 4/3 take away 2/3. 4 take away 2 is 2, so 2/3. Number 3, 4 and 7/10 take away 1 and 9/10. Okay, I can't take 9 from 7, so we can rename the 4 in 4 and 7/10 as 3 plus 1 plus 7/10. The 1 is 10/10. Okay, so I'm trading or renaming one of the whole numbers as 10/10. So now we have 3 and 17/10. 3 and 17/10 is the same as 4 and 7/10. Now we're going to subtract 1 and 9/10. 17 take away 9 is 8/10. 3 take away 1 is 2. Well, 8/10 is even, so I can divide by 2. And that would leave me 4/5. So 2/10 or 2 and 4/5. Number 4, 5/12 take away 8/12. I can't do that. So I'm going to have to rename the 3 as 2 plus 1 plus 5/12. 2 plus 1 plus 5/12. Well, so the 1 in this problem would be 12/12. So I'm going to exchange the 1 whole for 12/12. And now I'm going to add up those three add-ins. 12/12 plus 5/12 is 17/12. So we have 2 and 17/12 minus 8/12. Okay, well now I can do that. I can take 8 from 17. That's 9. 9/12. So 2 and 9/12. 9/12. Factors of 9 are 1, 3, and 9. And the factors of 12 are 1 and 12, 2 and 6, 3 and 4. So we're going to divide by 3. So 3/4. So 2 and 9/12 or 2 and 3/4. Number 5, find the difference. Okay, 8 and a tenth, 8 and 1/10 take away 2 and 9/10. Well, I can't take 9 from 1. So I'm going to rename the 8 as 7 plus 1 plus 1/10. I can exchange the 1 whole for 10 tenths. Okay, all I did was rewrote the 1 as 10 tenths. And now we add those up, we get 7 and 11 tenths. Minus 2 and 9 tenths. 11 take away 9, that's 2 tenths. 7 take away 2 is 5. So we have 5 and 2 tenths, or I see that they're both even, so I can divide by 2. Now it'll leave me 1/5. Okay. So 5 and 2 tenths, or 5 and 1/5. 2 take away 1 and 1/4. Okay. Well, this is like the explaining how to rename 5 to subtract 3 1/4. So we're going to rename the 2 as 1 plus 1. Okay. And we're going to use the fourths to rename this 1. So I'm going to have 1 plus 4 over 4. Okay. So 1 plus 4 over 4 is 2, right? Because 4 over 4 is 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. Okay, so we have 1 and 4/4. Take away 1 and 1/4. Well, 4/4 take away 1/4 is 3/4. 1 take away 1 is 0. So our answer is 3/4. And that's in simplest form. 3 is prime and is not a factor of 4. Number 7. 4 and 1/5 take away 3 and 2/5. Well, I can't take 2 from 1. So I'm going to have to rename the 4. So I'm going to rename the 4 as 3 plus 1 plus 1/5. So I haven't changed the value of anything, right? All I did was break up the 4 as 3 plus 1. I'm now going to trade this 1 whole for a fraction. And that would be 5/5. So 3 plus 5/5 plus 1/5. That gives me 3 and 6/5 minus 3 and 2/5. 6 take away 2 is 4, so 4/5. And 3 take away 3 is 0, so 4/5. 5 is prime, 4 is not a factor of 5, and 5 is not a factor of 4. All right, number 8. Just to give ourselves some space, we probably should do this on scratch paper. And so number 8, 4 and 1/6 take away 2 and 5/6. So you'll want to write them vertically like this. It just makes it easier to see the math problem. Okay, so I can't take 4 and 1/6. I can't take 2 and 5/6. I can't take 5/6 from 1/6. So I'm going to rename the 4 as 3 plus 1 plus 1/6. I can now rename the 1 as 6/6. So that equals 3 and 7/6. 2 and 5/6. So 7 take away 5 is 2. So we get 2/6. 3 take away 2 is 1. 2 is even, so I can reduce by 2. So 1 and 1/3. So our answer is 1 and 2/6, or 1 and 1/3. Number 9. 6 and 9/12 minus 3 and 10/12. I can't take 10/12 from 9/12. So I'm going to rename the 6 as 5 plus 1 plus 9/12. Okay, so 5 plus 1 is 6. I'm going to trade this one whole for 12/12. Okay, so we still have 6 because 5 plus 1, 12/12 is 1, plus the 9/12. I haven't changed anything. I just renamed one of the wholes. So that's 5 and 21/12. 12 plus 9 is 21. Minus 3 and 10/12. So 21 take away 10 is 11/12. And 5 wholes take away 3 wholes is 2. So 2 and 11/12. 11 is prime, so that's in simplest form. 2 and 11/12. Number 10, 3 and 3/10 take away 7/10. Well, I can't take 7/10 from 3/10. So let's rename the 2. Rename the 3 as 2 plus 1 plus 3/10. The 1 is 10/10. Okay, so 10 plus 3 is 13/10. So we have 2 and 13/10, which is equivalent to 3 and 3/10. Now we can take away 7/10. 13 take away 7 is 6/10. 2 take away nothing is 2. I see that 6/10. They're both even, so I'm going to divide by 2. 6 divided by 2 is 3. 10 divided by 2 is 5. So 2 and 3/5. And that is in simplest form because 3 is a prime number, 5 is a prime number. That means it has to be in simplest form. All right, number 11. 4 take away 2 and 3/5. Well, right now I don't have any fraction parts to take away the 3/5. So I have to rename the 4. I'm going to rename the 4 as 3 plus 1. Then I'm going to rename the 1 using the fifths of the second number that we're taking away. So I'm going to rename it as 3 plus 5/5. 5/5 is equal to 1. Now they have the same denominators. All right, so we have 3 and 5/5 take away 2 and 3/5. 5 take away 3/5 is 2/5. 3 take away 2 is 1. 1 and 2/5. 2 is prime and is not a factor of 5. All right, 12. 5 and 1/4 take away 2 and 3/4. Okay, I can't take 3/4 from 1/4. So we're going to rename the 5. I'm going to call it 4 plus 1 plus 1/4. I'm going to rename this one whole here as 4/4 plus 1/4. So my mixed number has been renamed as 4 and 5/4 minus 2 and 3/4. Okay, so the reason we're renaming again is to make sure that we have a number that is larger than what's being taken away. Okay, so 5/4 take away 3/4 gives me 2/4. 4 take away 2 is 2, or 2 and 1/2. Half of 4 is 2. So So 2 and 2/4, or 2 and 1/2. 13, we have 3 and 9/12. Take away 1 and 11/12. Well, we can't take 11/12 from 9/12. So we're going to rename the 3 as 2 plus 1 plus 9/12. And we're going to rename the 1 whole as 12/12 plus 9/12. So 2 and 21/12 is the same as 3 and 9/12. Now we can take away 11/12. That gives me 10/12. 21 take away 11 is 10. 1 take away 1 is 0. 2 take away 1 is 1. And 2 take away 1 is 1 whole. I do notice that 10 and 12 are both even. So it's not in simplest form. 10 divided by 2 is 5. 12 divided by 2 is 6. 5 is a prime number. It is not a factor of 6. So 1 and 5, 6. So we could say 1 and 10/12, or 1 and 5/6. 14, 7 and 3/10, take away 4 and 7/10. Well, again, I can't take 7/10 from 3/10. Same thing as saying I can't take 7 from 3. So I have to regroup, rename. So I'm going to rename the 7 as 6 plus 1 plus 3/10. Okay, and we're going to exchange this 1 whole for 10/10. Okay, so the 10/10 is for the 1 whole. Now we can add up the fraction part. We get 13/10. So 6 and 13/10 minus 4 and 7/10. 13 take away 7 is 6. So 6/10. And 6 take away 4 is 2. 6 and 10 are even. So let's divide by 2. 6 divided by 2 is 3. 10 divided by 2 is 5. So 2 and 3/5 is in simplest form. 2 and 6/10, or 2 and 3/5. And 15. 2 and 3/8 minus 1 and 5/8. Can't take 5/8 from 3/8. So we're going to rename the 2 as 1 plus 1 plus 3/8. I'm going to trade one of the whole numbers for 8/8. Okay, I'm always going to use the denominator of the fraction that's in the mixed number. Okay, so 1 and 11/8 minus 1 and 5/8. Well, 11 take away 5 is 6. So 6/8, and 1 take away 1 is 0. So we have no whole numbers. So we only have 6/8 left. They're both even numbers. So I'm going to divide by 2. And that gives me 3/4. Awesome. So 6/8, or 3/4. Moving right along. Number 16. Rename the fractions to solve. Many instruments are coiled or curved so that they are easier for the musician to play, but they would be quite long if straightened out completely. Analyze this relationship. Trumpets and cornets are brass instruments. Fully stretched out, the length of a trumpet is 5 1/4 feet, and the length of a cornet is 4 2/4 feet. The trumpet is how much longer than the cornet? 5 1/4 feet, 4 2/4 feet. how much longer. So that tells me subtract. So I'm going to do the math on here. So 5 and 1/4 minus 4 and 2/4. Well, I can't take 2/4 from 1/4. So I'm going to rename the 5 as 4 plus 1 plus 1/4. I'll rename the 1 whole here as 4/4. So we have 4 plus 4/4 plus 1/4. That's 4 and 5/4. 4 plus 1, 5. 5/4. The whole number was 4. Now we can take away 4 and 2/4. 5 take away 2, 3. So we have 3/4. 4 take away 4 is 0. So 3/4. 3/4 foot longer. Number 17. Tubas, trombones, and French horns are brass instruments. Fully stretched out, the length of a tuba is 18 feet. The length of a trombone is 9 and 11/12 feet. And the length of a French horn is 17 and 1/12 feet. The tuba is how much longer than the French horn? The French horn is how much longer than the trombone? So we got two subtraction problems here. So our first one is the tuba and the French horn. The tuba is 18 feet. So 18 take away the French horn. French horn is 17 and 1/12. All right, well, I need to rename the 18 as 17 plus 1. I'm going to use the denominator of this one to rename the 1. Okay, so I broke up the 18 and made it 17 plus 1 because I'm going to take one of the ones, one of the whole numbers, and trade it for a fraction. Okay, and I use the denominator of our other number, so I'm using 12/12. So 17 and 12/12 take away 17 and 1/12. 12 take away 1 is 11. So 11/12. 17 take away 17 is 0. So the tuba is 11/12 foot longer. How much longer is the French horn than the trombone? So the French horn, 17 and 1/12. Take away 9 and 11/12. Well, I can't take 11/12 from 1/12. So I'm going to rename the 17 as 16 plus 1 plus the fraction that's left over. 1/12 is left over. I'm now going to exchange the 1 whole for a fraction of 12/12. So we've got 16 and 13/12 minus 9 and 11/12. 13 take away 11 is 2/12. 16 take away 9 is 7. 2 and 12 are even, so I can reduce that by 2. So 7 and 1/6. 2 divided by 2 is 1. 12 divided by 2 is 6. So French horn is 7 and 2/12 foot or 7 and 1/6 foot longer. 18. The pitch of a musical instrument is related to its length. In general, the greater the length of a musical instrument, the lower its pitch. Order the brass instruments identified on this page from lowest pitch to highest pitch. Okay, so trumpet was listed at 5 1/4 feet. Cornet was listed at 4 2/4 feet. The tuba was 18 feet. The trombone was 9 11/12 feet. And the French horn was 17 1/12 feet. So we need to order these from lowest to highest. So the longer it is, the lower. Okay, so the longest. Well, 18 is the longest, right? So tuba was first, or the lowest. The French horn would be next. 17 is slightly less than 18. Okay, now we have 3 left. So trombone. And then which one's got a lower sound? The trumpet or the cornet? Well, the trumpet's longer, so trumpet and last, cornet. All right, Alicia had 3 1/6 yards of fabric. After making a tablecloth, she had 1 4/6 yards of fabric. Alicia said she used 2 3/6 yards of fabric for the tablecloth. Do you agree? Well, let's see. She had 3 1/6 yards. After making, she had 1 4/6 left. All right, so she's saying that she used 2 3/6. So when we subtract, we have to come up with 2 3/6. If not, then we're going to disagree with her. So I'm going to rename the 3 as 2 plus 1 plus 1/6. I can already say I'm going to disagree. 1, I'm going to rename as 6/6. Okay, so we have 2 7/6. Take away 1 4/6. 7 take away 4 is 3, 6. 2 take away 1 is 1. So she has 1 3/6. No, I don't agree. 3 1/6. Take away 1 4/6 equals 1 3/6, not 2 3/6. I'm going to assume that Alicia didn't rename the 3. And she just went 3 take away 1. Okay, and you can't do that. All right, so that's it for lesson 7.8. Our next lesson will be on fractions and properties of addition. So until then, may the numbers always be in your favor.